Alright, this is the live video and interview with Titan Kilogram of Deuce 11 Gs. These are the questions I'm going to ask him for the live video. Yes, so how did Deuce 11 Gs get formed? What led to the name change of Kinghood Cycles and the whole lineup change?
Deuce 11, basically the name of the group came from listening to Snoop at that time. When we heard that song where he said, "Take this 211 to another level." We basically were like on some real, I think 211 to cops means armed robbery. We just wanted to be real fucking gangsta on some shit. We wanted to take Kinghood to a whole nother level as far as gangster rap and how we could sound. So at this point, at that year and that date and that time when Deuce 11 came out, first of all, Deuce 11 was called 211 before we changed the name. But because we were such good friends and family with Swift D from 211, the group from Flint, we said, man, we're going to change it up and name ourselves Deuce 11 Gs. And we were heavily inspired while making that demo tape, Death Row, Dog Pound Music, and Cypress Hill. So those two groups kind of fusion the sound of that demo tape. I think 211 to cops means armed robbery. We just wanted to be real fucking gangsta on some shit. We wanted to take Kinghood to a whole nother level as far as gangster rap and how we could sound. So at this point, at that year and that date and that time when Deuce 11 came out, first of all, Deuce 11 was called 211.
Yeah, so that's what, there was already a 211 prior to Deuce 11 Gs.
Yeah, Swift D's group from Flint.
Yeah, so why did Deuce 11 Gs never get around to releasing a full album?
I had left. I was having personal issues, so I was admitted into therapy, and then I eventually moved down south because I was having problems with my family. So I just I left Flint, and that's why the album didn't get finished.
That's why there's only like 5 songs, because in the folder that you gave me, there's at least 11 songs. Let's see, actually, maybe 14, because some of them are...
Yeah, like what had happened was when we made Deuce 11. Oh, and then you asked like that there were more songs, but those came out in I think like 96. That was when I had left in 94, 95, and I moved. That was when Mark Steele had moved back, and during that time, that was when he had made the Corruption demo. Then when I came back in like 96, that was when Visions was made, Lifelines, War Games, and I think True to the Game. True to the Game was 97, and To Die For was our last song in 97 too. So Deuce 11 Gs didn't get finished because I had moved away, and the album never got finished, which was weird because I personally think that at that point, that was probably the most fire music we had ever made as a group, was Deuce 11 and some of the later songs too, Lifelines, Murder One, Visions, 96, all of those songs. Not to say that I'm not happy with the Kinghood album, but I think that we came a long way from those kids on the Kinghood album than what we started making as Deuce 11 Gs, Deuce 11 Gs, and as Death Wish and the other group name that we had at the time.
Death Wish Incorporated and Ballers of the Round Table?
Yeah.
So what led to the breakup of Deuce 11 Gs?
Just like I said, I moved away, and basically it was just Randy and Bruce left at home, and that's when they had made Criminal Mind and Get Down.
Yeah, they only made 2 songs. Plus, they were in Variety of Sins.
Yeah, Bruce had made Slippin' with 40. That's another lost song that got lost at Boomin'.
How many songs did Death Wish Incorporated record?
Let me see. There was Lifelines,
War Games,
yeah.
To Die For, Truth Did a Game, and
Visions 96. I think it was Visions, Lifelines, and War Games. True to the Game and To Die For were, I think, Ballers of the Round Table songs.
Bruce did Death Wish Incorporated at the beginning of To Die For.
Oh, he did? Okay, yeah, then that was Death Wish then, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, then Death Wish Incorporated was Lifelines, Visions, and War Games, True to the Game, and To Die For. 5 songs.
Oh yeah. So what happened to Death Wish Incorporated anyway? The last song recorded was To Die For.
That was 97. I think I had gone back down south. During that time, I was back and forth in college. So all of those years. So that's why nothing else got recorded. And I don't think Steele and Randy pursued to, keep going to the studio at that time. They didn't make any more songs. Steele left in, I think 95. I'm guessing. It was between 94 and 95. He left off to go to Job Corps and the Navy because he had rapped that in his verse on Nightmare and King Hood. While he was away, that was when we had dropped the Deuce 11G shit because Lunatic was out of the group. Me, Bruce, and Randy formed Deuce 11Gs, and we always had Mark Steele in the studio in spirit, and we blew it up, dog. Like Deuce 11Gs, people loved that fucking album, even though it was like 3 songs long. It was the 3 most incredible songs we ever made out of our catalog. People loved that more than the 15, 16 songs we made on King Hood Psycho's album. That's what trips me the fuck out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess Mark Steele never thought about signing a solo deal with Boomin because he had talent, fire, and desire.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the members out of King Hood that I think definitely should have had a solo contract, solo album. Mark Steele, I didn't learn until later. I always knew he had lyrics. I always knew that he had talent beyond the clouds. But I didn't learn until later until me and him started hanging heavy together. Should have pursued, he should have had a solo album. Definitely, more than one.
He left, to go out west.
Yeah, who, Mark Steele? I guess he did. I don't know where he went to Job Corps. Job Corps or the Navy. Both of those. He had left. He wasn't in Flint at that time.
Was Bruce already into rap like Mark Steele and Randy?
You mean into the music?
Yeah.
That's a good question because I want to real relevant about Bruce. He was really into sports. Bruce could have been he was a hellified basketball player. And his brother too, his brothers, Bobby Hall and Willie Hall. Shouts out to both of them. God rest his soul, Bobby Hall. He was a good dude. I miss him a lot. But Bruce was a real basketball go-getter. You know what I'm saying? He really played basketball like a motherfucker. He could have been a Flint star. You know what I'm saying? As far as on the ball court. So yeah, he was into music, but at first I kind of had to urge him, kind of kick him in the butt to get him more into it. He really wasn't into it at first. But once we started making some songs and shit, I was really impressed with him on the mic, because when I first heard him drop Bloodstains on My Shoestrings, I was like, wow, this motherfucker right here can rap his ass off. So when we first started out, like, I was ghostwriting a lot of songs that we were making, like No Screws, and I was writing verses for some of those tracks. And then eventually he started writing his own songs, his own lyrics to the tracks. But yeah, Bruce was always really into sports a lot more than music. But he still was feeling the rap game, a lot. One of his favorite labels was No Limit Records. He wanted us to sign with them more than anything in the world. In '97, he had big dreams of us signing with Master P and them. And I really wish that we had taken off with that dream. Prior to that, we were trying our best to get signed by Rap-A-Lot Records and James Smith down in Houston.
Oh yeah, definitely. I bet Bruce was thinking about getting a solo deal too.
Yeah, I kind of wish he had. I kind of wish Bruce had come out with a solo album, as well as Swift D. There's just a lot of talent in Flint that was really swept under the rug and overlooked and underrated. And I wish that Bruce had come out with a solo album. But yeah, I think that would have been real fire for sure.
Definitely. Well, thank you for taking your time out to join in this live. Thank you for joining this live video and interview.
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me, Michael, man. We'll follow up again soon, dog.